Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Lovely day out there, even though we're going to get some big rains this week, peeps. Looks like Saturday and Sunday, 80 and 90% chance of rains in South Florida, but yeah, that's what happens this time of year. Guess I won't be out there fishing. I see a few guys out there right now skirting the rain showers off in the distance. Hey, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. As you notice, I did not spend the coin first thing. I'm going to do that at the end of the show here, and just try to keep things a little different so they don't get too boring for either one of us. Let me move into today's spot prices here. I still got the spot prices up front. Why not? Let's get these out of the way. You kind of probably looked at them before you even looked at the show. And it was a little higher earlier. It looks like we got our Monkey Hammer Friday as far as gold is concerned. Mostly gold, because silver seems... Hey, silver's holding its own. I've got to admit, I'm really kind of surprised. However, it wouldn't surprise me to see it bought below this $25 mark. Won't be long lasted. Kind of temporary thing in my belief. Gold sitting at $1798.30 right now. Look at this range here, $1791 to $1810. I think the real monkey hammering in metals right now is mostly in gold. Silver doesn't seem to be reacting to it too much. When it does drop back, there seems to be, I don't know if it's paper buyers or whomever, but the market seems to kind of jump back up again. I mean, look at yesterday. I mean, look at the spreads here, 25.09 to 25.50. 50-cent spreads gets knocked down close to that $25 or $24.99 level, and gets pumped back up to $25.50. It's been doing that for the last week, while gold has slowly been losing, a couple bucks at a time. So the monkey hammering is happening. Happened last Friday, happened last Monday, and happening somewhat today. Monday will be a real kind of interesting day. We'll see what happens. But, when you see these down prices as a gold and silver and platinum buyer, don't get disappointed. This is a par for the course. This is the way this market has always reacted, up and down, sideways a little bit, then up and down. But ultimately, the trend is always upwards. And then the weird thing is you wake up one day and things have just exploded to the upside, and your jaw drops and your eyes are like pie plates. I've seen it. Yeah, I've been through this market. I've been through the 1980 market. I've been through the 2012 market. So for all you new time guys out there, got people that have just kind of gotten involved with precious metals, relax. Don't worry about it. Take the opportunity to buy these dips when you can. One day you're going to look at $1,800 gold and $25 silver and $1,000 platinum, and you're going to be like me when I remember silver at $3 and $5. I remember buying silver eagles at, I don't know, less than $7. I can remember buying them maybe for $5, $200 a roll or something like that at one time. And I remember gold being in the $350 to $500 range, even lower than $350 for a little bit. So I remember gold in the $200 range, but I was pretty young. Remember, I'm a second-generation dealer, so my father was in this business. So I probably remember more than most people do going back. But I was involved in the 1980 market, and I was involved in the 2012 market, and I've been involved still now. And I can tell you, just relax. Don't worry about it. Buy the dips when you can. This market is just in a continuous upward trend, and you're going to do well. So let's move into some different things here. Let's move into the articles. What articles I've got on ZH. Y'all know I like y'all. You can see the southern part of me. You all like the, oh gosh, what am I saying? You all know that I read this because I like the different, I used to do the Wall Street Journal when I originally started out this. I just get so sick of it. I was like over a decade subscriber to the Wall Street Journal. I mean, I read it before then, but I became a year after year subscriber, but I just got to really hate it. It's like a single point narrative. And I started reading the ZH, and yeah, there's some nonsense out here, but you know what? I like the ability to be given a choice of views and a choice of opinions. I don't like the single point narrative of mainstream media, corporate media, as you call it. I like to have different opinions. I believe I'm smart enough to figure out what's true, and I don't need some idiot on a corporate news station telling me what is true and what isn't true. Let's take a look at ZH again. Not too much in gold and silver. The grind of silver. This is, oh gosh, Mr. Sprott here, or guy that works for Sprott, Craig Hemke. Did you know? No, I didn't know that. It has been a challenging, frustrated year for comic silver. Inflation is raging while interest rates are failing, yet comic silver prices are down year to date. Well, I don't know. Let's move along here because I want to see what he says here. But this has left many silver investors wondering, is there still hope for a renewed rally, or has this become a lost cause? Things have been particularly challenging as late because June FOMC, COMEX silver was up on the year of near 28, and after meeting it fell to a 4-week range where this is, that doesn't concern me at all. The fact that we've made a move from, and I think Mr. Hemke actually brings this up. Here it is. I read this last night, so I forget exactly what he said. But for all those people whining about, silver might go down, it might go down to 20, it might go, it's not doing anything, it's not doing anything. Nonsense. It's doing very well. Silver is doing extremely well. It's just not on the time frame that you would like to, or I would like to. I would like to see it double and triple overnight, but that probably wouldn't be healthy. No less, Mr. Hemke points out here very astutely that after spending 7 years trapped between $14 and $18, COMEX digital silver finally surged from $20 to $30 in just 3 weeks last year. That quick move has led to what now is a consolidation phase as the market digests and recalibrates to a new price range that is more than 50% above the previous range. Well said, Mr. Hemke, 100%. And we've talked about that many times, is that people that are complaining that silver's not doing well, and some of these people that are complaining are new into silver, and they're always the people that complain the most on silver, especially when you're seeing buyers, not really the commentators and people like myself in the business. The people that complain most about the silver were the folks that came in and expected to get rich quick. These are the people that jump from Bitcoin to stocks or whatever the newest, hottest thing is, and they're constantly losing money. And when they do that, they badmouth those markets. And that's basically what you got going on with silver out there. Also, I believe there's an institutional move by banks or whomever, big institutions, to trash silver as well, or trash the price of silver. As you have noted, I've said for a long time now that I believe that silver is really a strategic metal if you think about it. It's used in all forms of electronics, and how important are electronics in our lifetime? We wouldn't be watching this video right now if it wasn't for silver to some degree. Maybe we would lead solders, but we're not geared up to go back to lead solder again, folks, and I don't think that's going to happen on the green planet that we have now. So let me move along here. That he points up, and Mr. Hemke says beautifully, that we were trapped between the $14 and $18 range for a long time. These are ranges. I've seen those ranges. I've seen the $1 to $5 range. I grew up in this market. I've seen the $5 to $10 range. I saw the $10 to $15 range, and the $15 to $18, and then the $20 to $25 or $20 to $30. That kind of went up pretty fast from $20 to $30. That range went really quick. Doesn't surprise me we're sitting in the $25 range, because that's where it needs to be, in my opinion, when I look at it on a macro, when I step back and look at the big picture and what I've experienced. Let's move along here. Well, anyways, so in light, Mr. Hemke says, perhaps this year's frustrating grind sideways is more understandable. Absolutely it is. Please understand I'm not willing to forgive or ignore the role that banks and the CFTC play in allowing the manipulation to persist. Well, that's nice, Mr. Hemke. I agree with you there, too. However, if we look at the past 10 years, a weekly chart, we see clear breakout and flag consolidations. And that flag is range-bound by 22 at the bottom and 20 at the top. 20 at the top. What is the median or middle? 25. And that's why holding above 25 is so important to me. I wouldn't place such an emphasis on holding above 25, but it seems to be doing that pretty well. And again, I think that we've already made these ranges. Could it step back into that sub 20? I did a video a while back ago that said goodbye $20 silver. But I believe even the caveat there was that, we could see it drop below that $20, but it won't stay there that long. It won't stay there for long at all. It'll be attempts to drive it down to that range. It'll be mostly attempts in the paper markets. But as far as the physical markets go, the cat's out of the bag. It's done, baby. We're there. So it's just going to keep riding these different ranges. And the range we're in right now is 25, maybe $20 to $25 range. That's cool. I like it. I think the next range is going to be a solid 25 to 30. Maybe we've already been in that range. Maybe this 20 to 25 is just temporary. Maybe, and again, we could see a sub 20. However, I think a sub 20 is going to come with an economic collapse. That's my opinion. And I'm sticking with it. Let's go down to some other. There's not too much here as far as gold and silver news. I believe this 100%. I don't know what your opinion is, but and my concern is really not so much. I've got big health concerns. I believe in science and all that stuff. However, the way that we went about it was really, really bad, and I think that this gentleman did not help. So let me move along from there. Scaled back Olympics, that's just my opinion. Again, I hope you guys don't mind me throwing in my occasional political opinion. I respect other people, so I don't mind throwing mine out there. This is remember I told you about talking heads and never trust the if you listen to MSNBC, Bloomberg, Reuters, or whoever, all these news agencies that report on gold and silver, you'll go broke. You don't listen to them. They're idiots. It's not too different from this right here. The lady here smears herself with mud just to make her look more legit, like she's been in a flood, that she tumbled down the road in the flood. So you can't trust corporate and mainstream media, folks. Trust me on this. That's for sure. Find alternative sources. Use your brain. Don't believe everything you read, no matter who it's from. So let's move along. Move along. There's my new statement that I say all the time. Probably because I do need to move along. China stocks tumble, and pardon me, I want to make sure I plug my mic in. I've done that before. Forgot to plug it in. Beijing said they plan to crack down on EdTech crackdown will convert tutoring forms into nonprofit. That's what socialist countries do, folks, and socialist communist countries do. They take over education. They take over all these different things, and there's a reason for that. It's all about a narrative. They have to paint the narrative. They have to brainwash people with narratives. Well, without going into becoming a political show, I'm going to just kind of, here we go. Stockman, hold gold as insurance. I saw this earlier. I wanted to read this to you, and that'll be pretty much done with ZH here. Reagan's White House budget director and best-selling author David Stockman says this is not the time to be invested in markets. A reset is just a pleasant name or a clinical name for a crash of epic proportions, which we will have because the markets are so inflated. I don't think there's anyone out there, even the talking heads on corporate news, that doesn't believe this. I think everyone is just sitting here with like wondering, when is this car going to run out of gas? When is this thing going to crash? When is this bubble going to pop? And every day I think everyone is surprised. It's like living on the edge a little bit here. It'd be good to throw that music on. Living on the edge. There we go. There are trillions of dollars that are at risk. To put a dimension on this thing, or a way of sizing, is we have $60 trillion bubble on the balance sheets of 130 million people in American society, but especially in the top 5 to 10% that own a huge share of the assets. Excuse me, I'm going to get a quick cup of coffee here. I have no thought about how big the correction will be, but if we're just back to the norm, it would be a $60 trillion correction, and that is a pretty big hole in the bucket. If $60 trillion disappears out of the U.S. economy, it changes everything. It turns the financial system and the economic reality upside down. Well, who is saying this too? Again, this is Reagan, White House budget director and best-selling author David Stockman. Say as you will of him. Some people may like him, some people may not, but he's got credentials behind him and he writes books. And he seems like a pretty smart dude. So how did things get so perilous in this economy? Stockman says look no further than Washington, D.C. and the Fed. When central banks start to inflate like crazy, you first inflate financial assets. It eventually works its way into goods and services, and that's where we are now. Absolutely. We're in that inflation area of, financial assets have been overinflated since 2008. 2008 is when they started overinflating them by pumping money into that. The epic all-time bubble is what we're in right now. One of the biggest bubbles ever seen in history. And that's my opinion. Let's move along to what Mr. Stockman says. You get the second stage of inflation as well. There has never been a small group of government officials, unelected at that, who have done more damage, more wanton harm to the economy and to the lives of ordinary people than Fed head Powell and his merry band of mad money printers. Well, you can't just blame Powell. This goes back to Bernanke as well. So, whether, and you know what the truth of the matter really is budget director and Mr. David Stockman was probably in his own way involved in money printing and the extension of the fiat system. Except now it's blowing apart, and it wasn't on his watch, so he can say this. But again, I digress here, and sorry about that. Just my opinion. I say these people are damn near criminally incompetent, given what they say about the world, which is totally wrong. Now, mind you, this is a man that worked in the system that was probably criminally incompetent himself, calling. I mean, if he thinks other people are more criminally incompetent than what he was doing, then holy crap, man. Again, I don't know David Stockman's career. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was one of the few people involved with the Reagan administration that was saying fiat money is wrong, the Fed's wrong, we should get back to a gold standard. But I somehow don't think he was. But no less, he's calling out people that he sees as incompetent, and that's pretty scary. When he sees bigger incompetence that's involved now than when he was involved, that's scary, folks. The incompetence grows in Washington, D.C., economically and politically. That's my opinion. So Stockman thinks there will be a 50% to 75% correction in the financial markets. The only asset that has held its value over time is gold. Absolutely correct. We'll not argue with that statement, not because I like gold and silver and I'm a gold and silver dealer. Well, that might have something to do with it, but it's true. How do you argue with that? Stockman recommends everybody should be holding some gold as insurance against the coming reset. And insurance, I like that term. I call it wealth preservation. For the last year, I've called it wealth preservation. You call it insurance. You can call it whatever you want, but it's real important. In closing, Stockman warns: preserve your assets. This is the last time to be greedy or aggressive, and he's right. This is not a good time to be greedy, overly optimistic about the future. The future is being driven by policymakers. No fundamentals. Everyone talks about this. Even mainstream talking heads bring it up once in a while. There's no fundamentals here. There is no fundamentals. The future is these entire markets, whether it's real estate, whether it's equities, you name it. Even the economy now, people's jobs are all driven by policymakers. It's not driven by a capitalistic markets anymore. And we weren't really capitalistic markets for a long time. Crony capitalism is what we've been seeing. That's why socialists cry, because they see crony capitalism, which I don't blame them. Crony capitalism sucks. But we've had that in our system for quite some time now, and it's the destruction of capitalism and free marketplaces. Okay, I won't go there. They have printed more money. This is the whole system is being run by Washington. The Federal Reserve totally dominates the financial markets. The Fed has printed $6.5 billion a day for the past 688 days. They have printed more money in the last 688 days than the Fed did in the first century of its existence. We are at the end stages, folks. He points this out very clearly. As a gold and silver stacker, you will be very happy when this bubble bursts, that you own it. Let's move along to GATA.org. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I missed anything. I did miss one thing. I wanted to give a shout out to my man here, Eric Clapton. I am an Eric Clapton fan. I thought he did some really great guitar music here. But, hey, good move, Eric. And if this is true, thank you. Let's move along here to GATA.org, see what we got going on. And this is the one that I wanted to bring up. Of course, you guys know that I require you. I can't require anybody to do anything, but my dictator in me wants to require you to put the GATA.org website up on your bookmark bar. You need to be watching this and reading this daily or once a week. It's the guys that tell you how the game is played, who the players are, and how they cheat. ECB vows to persist with negative rates and bid to fuel inflation. And oftentimes these guys put up great articles that have nothing to, nothing. All they talk about is things that affect the price of precious metals. So it's not a news site per se. It's things that affect gold and silver, and you should be reading this. Gold Trader bragged about how easy it is to manipulate prices. When I first started talking about in my industry, out on those social mediums in our industry, about gold prices and silver prices being manipulated, I was told that I was wearing a tinfoil hat. Put your tinfoil hat on. There's no manipulation in the gold and silver markets, but it was just so darn obvious. In the press and the corporate, and the corporate news, they obviously were clueless, still are clueless. However, when you wake up every morning, you watch these markets, and you get up in the morning, and you see that the markets got hammered, monkey hammered, overnight in thinly traded markets when no one else would trade except other than maybe to knock prices down. Spoofing, you name it, was always done on, and always primarily was done on thinly traded markets. And it also done in the London market and the COMEX market, where they're crooked. I'm telling you, but we know that. Gold trader bragged about how easy it is to manipulate prices. Chat logs introduced as evidence by prosecutors at the Chicago spoofing trial. Spoofing, so I was just telling you about. Former precious metals traders of Bank of America Corp's Merrill Lynch unit shows one of them, Edward Basses, brags about how easy it is to manipulate prices. All right. On January 28th, 2009, when Basses was working at Deutsche Bank AG, he put out bids to buy 2,740 gold contracts valued at around $244 million over the course of 4.5 minutes. And let me see where it was done. Maybe according to Maria Garibaldi, a vice president of analysis group who studied the exchange and trading grades for prosecutors, more than 98% were canceled without being filled. They spoofed those early midnight morning markets, and I'm telling you, folks, they still do it. Not as much now. Not as much now. They're much more careful because of things like this. They don't want to go to jail. On the opposite side of the market, a fellow Deutsche Bank trader, Basis coordinator, who sold his 170 contracts worth $15,172,000 as the price rose. Gabriata told jurors on Wednesday. That does show how easy it is to manipulate sometimes. Well, there's the bullshit word, sometimes. Basis wrote minutes after the trading and chat message. Here's one of the texts. I fuck around the market a lot, Basis said in another message. Just come on, let's just say it. Here's a trader working for Bank of America that just openly admits that he screws around with the gold market to make money, with their money, of course. And of course, Merrill Lynch and Bank of America, when they get caught doing this, they pretend they didn't know their traders are doing it. Bullshit. They did. They did. They bought an extra car, a new pair of golf clubs, or whatever the frick they do. They know what's going on, and they encouraged it. And that's my opinion. Basis and fellow Merrill Lynch trader John Police face federal charges. And again, it's the trader that faces charges, not the CEOs that run these operations, and they should. But you know what the problem is? Too big to fail, too big to jail. And that's the issue, and that's why we have crony capitalism today, because the government and regulators are in bed with these people. That's crony capitalism. That is not free market capitalism. That day, Basis placed an iceberg order to buy 10 contracts of platinum, with 6 being filled with payments. Less than 10 seconds after the Basis placed that order, Pasilo placed an order to sell 205 contracts, which is almost 90% of what was visible in the exchange order book. The price went down. The rest of the Basis orders were filled. And again, this just shows you how easy it is and how much they did it. And in opening statements, Basis' defense attorney told jury that her client understood spoofing was illegal. He stopped doing it once he understood it was illegal, and that nearly all the conduct the government identified was before the enactment of the Dodd-Frank. Bullshit. That was just the defense of that. And again, it's really amazing that the CEOs of these companies. Oh, where'd my thingy go? All right. Hey, I was done with that anyway. Done with the GATAorg. Now, let's talk about 2021 Silver Eagles. Why do I say they're overpriced? Because they are, man. Unless you're a collector. Are you a collector? Do you like to collect coins? If you do, there's nothing wrong with buying Eagles. 2021s, Type 1s, Type 2s, 2020s, 2019s. I've got sets of Silver Eagles, and I actually got some beautifully toned sets as well. So there's nothing wrong with that. However, are you stacking silver to as a hedge against what's happening and what we're talking about, or are you paying too much of a premium, way too much of a premium that you'll never get back for products? It just doesn't make sense. And this is why I'm saying, if you want to buy gold and silver, stick with the cheapest available products you can buy. Unfortunately, they are not silver and gold Eagles. Sorry to say that, but if you want to fill your sets, fill your books, that's great. If you're buying them for investment, it's stupid. I'm sorry, I'm just going to come right out and say it. Based on the history of these things and based on premiums and how I've seen new product come out and just drop and fall. Now, here's a U.S. Mint site. I'm familiar with almost all these products. Not all. And they come out with so many new products that sometimes I get confused. I don't even know where they come from. However, I can assure you that nearly every one of these products right here that you're looking at, they're all collector orientated. They're fine if you want to buy them as a collector. However, if you're buying them with the intent of making money on the gold and silver markets, it's the wrong stuff to buy. The premiums are way too high. For a coin set, what is that? That's 1.85 ounces. In gold, and you're paying $5,000, currently unavailable anyway. Same thing with the most, I think that if there is some, going to be some, increase in prices on some of these collectibles, you have to be a collector. Don't just fall into the newest, hottest product because everyone else is buying it. Look at mintage figures. If the mintage figures are extremely low and the premium is not ridiculous, buy this kind of stuff. Buy these coins right here. I can't argue with that. However, and again, if you're a collector and you don't mind if the price comes down, buy this stuff. But I can tell you what I have noticed over my decades of dealing with U.S. Mint products, and I know this stuff very well, is that generally speaking, when a new product comes out at the U.S. Mint, it's super hot, and then it just goes to shit. Now, not always, but generally speaking. And this is almost like 90% of the products. If you go back and look at all the silver commemorators ever made, some of them were really hot at one time. Now they're close to melt. Same thing with the gold products. Now they're close to melt. So, my suggestion, if you're buying this stuff, find the lowest mintages that you can find. Stick with that stuff if you're going to put it away. The high mintage stuff, if it comes out really high price, there's almost a guarantee, unless gold and silver go way up, that you're going to buy it cheaper later. So why pay that stupid premium now? And again, this is collector-orientated stuff. The same thing with Silver Eagles. These are supposed to be Silver Eagles. Now, there's the Type 2 reverse, the new one that's coming out. And I'm going to look at what the wholesale prices are here. It looks like my cost, if I got to go out and just buy Silver Eagles off the wholesale market, and 2021s, where are they? Oh my gosh, looking right past them. Okay, here we go. Forgive me, there we go, there it is. Type 2, Type 2s, I'm not sure, I think they're out there, they're available right now, but for me to buy them, they're going to run me between probably $7 and $10 over spot. I haven't seen any solid sellers yet because they're new and they're just coming out. And the problem with that too, folks, is just they'll get stupid prices. The first ones that come out, people will pay dumb prices just to own it. Don't fall for that trap. Wait for them to really start coming out more and more, and you'll get a better price. But let's take a look at BU. Just regular Silver Eagles are still have a a $6 to $8.50 wholesale premium. So dealers are paying anywhere from between $6 and $8 more or less, maybe a little higher, $8.50 for Silver Eagles. And that's just regular BUs. And again, the wholesale market looks like, well, maybe it's like $7 to $10 on the Type 2s, the new Type 2s. That's over a spot price, folks. Right now, you can get 90% U.S. silver coins for spot plus $3.50 instead of spot plus $10. Huge difference, $7 an ounce difference. If silver is priced like gold, $7 wouldn't make a huge difference on the overall price. However, silver is like $25 an ounce. $7 is what? Almost a third of that price, not quite, but still. So you're going to pay almost a third in premium for exactly $10. It's almost like it's over a third. You're going to pay over a third of the investment in a premium. That's ridiculous. So anyone stacking Silver Eagles out there, not in the past, but in these recent high premium times when Silver Eagles started going above that $5 mark and that $6 mark, and they start getting up to the $8 to $12 mark, ridiculous. If you're buying them at that level, you're paying way too much. And again, if you want to buy new 2021 Silver Eagles, you're going to pay that big premium. So if you're buying for collector value, great. Put a few away for yourself. However, if you are buying it to put silver away, it's a big mistake. You're making a huge mistake. You're not going to get that money back. You're just not going to do it. Well, I'm going to tell you where you're going to get that money back in a little bit with silver deals and gold deals. But meanwhile, let me go over yesterday's video. Gosh, I love the fish cameras on the video. I had to switch it up a little bit because I haven't done the peer cam in a while. But the video at the beginning of this one, if you first time watching this video, and by the way, hit that subscribe button if you would, that little bell and that like, I appreciate it. But the peer cam is one I've done for years and years and years. And it's a live peer cam just 2 blocks down the street from our house. It's called Deerfield, the Windjammer Resort. They actually do the peer cam there. And I heard the Windjammer's a nice little hotel too. And this one is, I'm talking about cams now. And this cam right here is the camera at Deerfield Beach, live underwater camera. Great camera. But I'm digressing, and let's talk about yesterday's video and just some comments that were made yesterday. I'd like to thank everybody here that made comments, and I'm going to just go over a few here. Big Water's looking for some 2017 grants. Thanks, Mike. Dog will hunt. When precious metals crashed in 2020 and silver at $11, $12 an ounce, every bullion deal said out of stock. When they started selling it in 17, what's the price? Yeah, well, 2020, I'm trying to remember. Silver at 11.12. I don't remember specifically that time, Mr. Dog Will Hunt. But I can say there was probably some big premiums happening at that time. But the premiums were even worse. So just recently, silver premiums are just starting to come down now. That's a good thing. That's what yesterday's video was about. Premiums are coming down. It seems like they're, except for silver eagles. Premiums in the U.S. maybe not so much in Canada. I'm not sure why that is, JoJo, but thanks for watching. Buy the frickin' dips. Absolutely, Inspector Jason. Tree Climber says perfect coin roll today. I'm going to try a perfect coin roll here at the end of the show. By the way, my belief today is markets are going to be down. Doesn't take much of a genius to see that where they are right now. Gold markets are going to be down a little bit. I think silver market's going to be down a little bit. Monday, I believe that we could see a down market. I really think this monkey hammer is not over quite yet. So silver tard, my LCS didn't get into the memo about lower premiums. You got to remind them sometimes. The reason my premiums got lower is because I've been a brick and mortar store for a long time. I started getting the younger guys and some guys coming in, and I'd give them a price. How much are your eagles? I give them a price. How much are your 1 ounce maples or your generic rounds? I give them a price. And every time I'd see them looking at the phone, I'm thinking like, this is a while ago. I'm thinking to myself, wow, are they price checking? I guess they are. I do it. You know what I mean? So I started asking who they would price check with, and I figured the best thing for me to do is advertise that I can match or beat AppMax, JM, or SD. And they're big online sellers. I can't do it for every online seller out there, but the three biggies, I can beat them, and they're big reputable companies, and their prices are pretty damn good. So if I can do it, other local coin stores can do it. So my suggestion is ask your local coin store, show them, hey, listen, I can buy them online here, but and be sincere about it. I'd rather buy them from you. I really would. Maybe you'll get somewhere. So, Sierra Legacy, I like you watching. Thank you. And Cloudy or Monk says we have crappy coin shops and that weren't aware of U.S. Mint silver metal programs. You know what? I gotta say, I can't argue with that, but I'm not familiar with all the U.S. Mint's making so many products. I gotta tell you, there were some Mint metal products that came in my store recently. I didn't know they were U.S. Mint products. They're just so prolific like right now. They're and producing products. It's just crazy. And it's almost like the stamp. You remember when they were making stamps, sheets, the sheet craze of the 70s, and stamps just went. They were printing all kinds of stamps, first day covers for everything, sheets for everything, commemorative for everything, and it just killed that entire market. You see where stamps are today. But no less, it's hard to know everything. So I'd give that coin shop a second break just because they didn't know. How do you start a local coin shop? Well, I'll tell you how you start a local coin shop. I'll tell you how you get rich with a local coin shop. Not maybe rich, but you start a local coin shop, you start with $1 million, and then you end up with about $500,000, and that's how you start. They're tough, man. They're tough. Overhead is what kills you, and getting clients in, it's a whole different market out there, especially with the online business. Does not help brick and mortars like myself. This is why I'm always advertising to buy local. Frogman says, many of us believe this to be true. The fiat money system in the United States is nothing less than a massive confidence scam, a racket sustained by an unwarranted belief that money can be, oh boy, you watch my videos, or am I watching your videos, sir? I think we're exactly on the same page, Mr. Frogman, or Mrs. Frogman, I'm not quite sure, but either way, I think we're on the same page. Agree with you 100%, and I'd like to thank you for watching my videos as well. Buying from a local coin dealer isn't always a good idea. As a coin dealer here in Brooklyn charges $100 on top of a premium for the same coin sold elsewhere. What I was just saying about rents. What are rents like in Brooklyn? Are they crazy? How much a square foot do they get? I mean, I got to imagine if you're going to open a coin shop anywhere in the country, Brooklyn certainly may not be the cheapest, or maybe it is. I just don't know what the rents are. That's the big problem, is the overhead on local coin stores in big cities and areas that are popular are really, really tough. Out in your outside areas and counties and a little further from the big cities are where you're going to find larger coin shops and maybe ones that can compete more. However, I wouldn't throw him under the bus. His rent's probably huge. No less, I wouldn't be afraid to go in and say, listen, I'd rather buy this from you than buy it from other. Can you match this price or get close to it? I'd rather spend my money local. That would be my suggestion. Hey, thanks for watching. There's no A or anything. Nisipsti Thai. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I appreciate everybody that watched yesterday's video. Meanwhile, What is the best silver deal out here? And we'll get to the coin toss here in a minute. I'm sure some of you want to hear the coin spinning. But the silver deals, best deals out there are 90%. You can get 90% for spot plus 350 from us. In larger quantities, you can get it for less. And so the silver price, that's a cheap premium, 350 over the silver price. 100-ounce bars seem like a good deal too at spot plus 385, and 1 ounce and 10-ounce bars at spot plus 4. As I said, premiums on a lot of silver products come down, folks. So good opportunity to buy, especially with these lower spot prices. Best opportunity to buy in the last several months as far as premiums go and as far as silver prices go. Good opportunity right now, folks. I really think it is. Good time to buy the dip. And premiums are allowing you to do that economically as well. As far as Silver Eagles, no. Don't buy 20s. Don't buy Silver Eagles, period. They're still too expensive. Again, unless you're collecting them, then you can buy them. But if you're buying them as a silver investment, there's a lot other products way cheaper to buy. And again, 90% you can buy for spot plus 350. It's the same people that make Silver Eagles, the U.S. Mint. Why would you pay, $7 an ounce more? It just makes no sense to me. And I've been doing this my whole life. And I have tons of Silver Eagle in my safe, so I'm kind of stepping on my own dick here. So it's just not a good deal, folks. As far as silver goes, again, I'm recommending 1-ounce bars, 10-ounce bars, 100-ounce bars, and 90% silver. The rest of the products seem a little too expensive, except for silver commemoratives. A gentleman, I think, that watches my show came in and took advantage of that and bought modern silver commems. Hold on, let's go back over here. Modern silver commems. He bought these type of things right here. See these? Modern silver commems. From me for spot plus, and these are things that, look, that sold for $79, $79. The older versions of some of these, well, I'm sorry, not the platinum ones, but the older version of the silver ones, 86 Statue of Liberties, all those different types of things that the U.S. Mint sells for $49 or $79. You can buy from me now for a silver price plus $3. So capsuled and boxed commemoratives are a great deal. You can get them from us for melt plus $3. And stay away from silver dollars as well, unless you're a collector. Prices are too high. That's my opinion. Deals in gold. Deals with gold. Ooh, deals with gold. One of the best deals in gold. I found this thing. It says deals with gold. The best deals in gold are still gold 1-ounce bars out there. I think that you can pick them up for spot plus $80. Gold Eagles have come down a little price. I think all the gold products are becoming more available and the premiums are more reasonable. Gold Eagles are costing me around plus 80, maybe a little bit less. I make about 45 bucks a coin on those, so that puts them about 125 bucks an ounce over, which is not horrible given the price of gold is around $1,800. But there are better deals out there. Better deals would be 1-ounce gold bars. Again, at 80 bucks over, you're saving. That's your cost. My cost is less than that. My cost is like 35 bucks over. Again, I make about 45 bucks an ounce, and I'm still competitive with the big guys out there. And your local coin dealer should be as well. So that's the best deals out there, I think, gold bars. Next to that would be Maple Leafs. I think Krugerrands are a good deal. Krugerrands are now down to spot plus like maybe 90 bucks. And Maples are like spot plus 85. Oh, hold on, no, I'm sorry. Spot plus maybe 100 or something like that. So the coins are becoming more available and the premiums are more reasonable. So I'm not going to complain if you're buying Gold Eagles right now. Well, Gold Eagles maybe, but Maples and KR seem to be more reasonable. Eagles are getting close to being reasonable, and which is odd because the price of gold is down as well. All the action seems to be in silver if I was going to pick the two markets. And platinum, poor platinum, just ignored. Still a great frickin' deal. Well, that's really about it. This is Brian Kuzmar. Oh, hang on a second. Where's the coin? Where's the coin? Let's before I close out of here, I gotta do. Hang on a second. I don't have a coin montage there. Ready? Or montage or picture or whatever. But let me do a quick flip. This is how I do it every morning, folks. Flip it in my hand just to be sure. Then I do a spin. Round and round she goes. Where she stops, I just don't know. But you know what? This coin loves bulls. I don't know what it is. I even bought another coin, a bull and bear coin, just to see if it would. I don't know what's with these coins. They love the bulls, even when they're not bull markets. But it looks like our coin says a bull today again. So Well, that's really about it. Coin says a bull. I think it's going to be a bear. I think Monday we might see a bear market as well, but who cares? If it is, great buying opportunity. And unless you plan on selling on Monday, which, hey, listen, I don't advise anyone to sell into this market, period, unless you really need the money, unless you really need the money, or you have a better place to put that money. Again, this is just my opinion. I'm not an investment advisor, so everything I've said here is my opinion. But in my opinion, I have experience in this, so my opinion means something, I think. Well, that's it. As I said, support your local businesses. Buy local. If you don't live in my area, I can't deal with you, unfortunately. I appreciate you watching. And the best advice I can give to you is, I'm teaching you something, and try to find a local business if you don't live in my area. Local coin shop. And, I always say that even if they're an hour or two drive, at some point, even if you're an online buyer, and I'm not, some of the online sellers are pretty good prices. Their prices aren't bad. And as I said, to be competitive, I will beat, for my local customers, I will beat the online guys that I mentioned for the products that I have. I'll give a better price, and I can also give better advice because they don't give advice. They don't have a guy like me that's been doing this for 2 generations or second generation talking to you and telling you what to buy and what not to buy. You don't get that for what you pay. So at my store, you get a good competitive product, and you get great advice from a person that knows what he's talking about and not just trying to sell your product. Well, again, find one of the guys like me, even if you have to drive an hour or two to do it, because if you're buying online, you're going to have to sell the stuff one day, and you do not want to ship it. Trust me, you don't want to go there. Don't end up shipping your silver. So at some point, silver and gold, even if you don't plan on selling it, you plan on leaving it for your kids are going to have to sell it. So at some point, try to find something. You need to find a local person to deal with, even if you have to spend an hour to get there. Well, that's it. This is Brian Kuzmar with the Friday closing or Friday update. And let's see what happens on Monday. Meanwhile, I hope you have a great, wonderful weekend. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. And stay away from those 2021 Silver Eagles. Unless you're a collector, stay away from Silver Eagles right now. I'll let you know when they get cheap enough for you to buy. I love the product. Nothing wrong with them. But again, stay away from them for now. Well, that's it. I'm going to close it up and say goodbye. Have a good day.